Hey, it's Ethan here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the RockyMounts GuideRail Hitch Bike Rack and how it fits on our 2022 Lincoln Navigator. Like I mentioned, it is a tube bike, but it is a platform style bike rack. It's going to hold on to our bike with this dual wheel mount design, so it doesn't make any frame contact. There's no straps or cradles or masts that you have to worry about getting out of the way. Again, no frame contact, so if you wanted to transport your carbon frame bikes, you can. Alternative frame style bikes, or maybe your bike has a really nice paint job, we can get it to where it needs to go without any issues. One of the other nice features of this bike rack is that it has the ability to tilt away with the bikes loaded up. So you'll see this blue handle here. You just pull that, the rack tilts down pretty aggressively. Probably one of the furthest tilts on any rack that we've tested today. Which gives us plenty of room to come back here, open up the hatch. You can see that that clears with no issues. If we want to take a seat back here and change our shoes, we could do that. If we need to get anything out of the back, helmets, shoes, water, sunscreen, whatever we might need for our ride, we can do that too. While this closes up, we can come back down here towards the bottom and we can fold it back up. I will say it is a little bit heavy, and if you do load two bikes, I could see that being a little bit more difficult. To get our bike off is pretty straightforward. We'll undo one of these blue levers here, and we can come back to where the mount makes contact with our tire, push it away. Realistically, you only need to undo one of them, unless it's got a really nice hold on the back. In our case, it is pretty tight on there, so we'll just loosen this one up a little bit, and then we can get our bike up and off. With the bike removed, we can take a closer look at the cradles and the tray, as well as the mounts. You can see on the mount here, it is adjustable to accommodate a couple of different tire sizes. It's not tool free though, which is kind of a shame. There are some racks out there that offer this without needing a tool, but it's not that big of a deal. When I close it up, you can hear it ratchet. That's just those micro adjustments that it makes as it holds onto your tire. With it closed all the way, we can take a closer look at the tray. We see that it does accommodate a tire width of up to 3 inches, and that wheelbase total will be 55 inches. If you're curious to know what it's like to live with the rack on the back of the vehicle, we'll get a measurement to find out how much distance we're going to add. So from the bumper to the furthest point back, it's 31 inches. So not too bad considering the weight capacity and the style of the rack. As far as ground clearance goes, from the furthest point, probably going to be that blue lever or handle that we need to tilt the rack down. It's about 30 inches. So that's not too bad. If you want to know how high you're going to have to lift some of those heavy bikes, because it does have that stadium style and the rise, you're going to need to lift those bikes about 33.5 inches. That's a number you might want to consider as well. Taking a closer look at the front of the rack, you can see that there is this slot here where you would lock your chain lock that is included. It's not integrated onto the rack, but you'll feed one of the larger links down in there. If you unlock this, it slides out, put the link in, slide it back in, and then lock it up. They're both sealed with this rubber material to keep water and debris out of there, and that's just another layer of security you can add onto the rack. If you're concerned with how much distance it adds to the back of your vehicle using that same handle that we used before, you pull that again and fold the bike rack up against our vehicle. Again, it snaps into place, and now we can get that new measurement to see how much distance we've saved. Now from the bumper to the furthest point back, it's only 14 inches, so it about cuts the distance in half. And because of RockyMounts build quality, it's not really going to sit very close to the vehicle at all. The closest point coming to about 4.5 inches in our case. As far as what it covers on the back of our vehicle, it is a little bit bulky here in the middle. So if you're straight on, your license plate will be pretty much fully obstructed, but you can definitely see it from different angles, as well as your backup camera being in the direct middle too. That's definitely going to be obstructed in the middle, but you'll be able to see around it on either side. It's not quite tall enough that either of the taillights come into play, and it's definitely not tall enough to cover up your rear window. The shank here is a 2-inch shank that fits into our 2-inch receiver tube. It's held in place by an anti-rattle bolt with a lock core on the end, which is nice that it locks the actual hitch into your receiver to keep the rack in place and secure. Overall, the RockyMounts GuideRail is a really solid value option. If you do like that dual wheel mount design, which I do because it doesn't make any frame contact, it's got a really nice build quality, folds, it tilts, everything's color coded and really nice. I would say if you do like that dual wheel mount design, you can check out the comparison video we have on eTrailer. It just compares a couple of different similar bike racks. This was just a look at the RockyMounts GuideRail, how it performs and how it fits on our 2022 Lincoln Navigator.